各位车迷们，大家上午好，欢迎收看2019国际骑联亚洲三级方程式锦标赛零路站的现场直播。那么在昨天呢，我们锦标赛是在日本完成了在这个国家的赛道上的首秀啊。本土车手 Yukio Sasahara 虽然是从杆位起步，但是在冠军的争夺中败给了做出出色完美发车的他的队友杰克杜汉。那么在今天呢，这两位队友依然是并排从头位发车。我们看一看，在今天的比赛中，这位本土车手啊，能否在这条他自己非常熟悉的赛道中做出更好的成绩？那么不要走开，比赛马上开始。白丽。
Hello and welcome back to the live coverage of Formula 3 Asian Championship from Suzuka. After yesterday's dramatic opening lap, Jack Duhan went on to take his third win of the season. Today he is starting from pole position alongside teammate and point leader Yukio Sasahara. Stay with us for race 8, which brings us to the midpoint of the season.
Well, hello and welcome to Suzuka Circuit in Japan for, as Feline says quite rightly, the 8th race of 15 for the second season of the F3 Asian Championship certified by the FIA. This is race number 8, and so far it has been 1-2 across every race to this point between Yukio Sasahara, who leads the championship by just 7 points over yesterday's race winner Jack Duhan. Duhan, his third win of the season. Let's take a look back at that race. And it was Duhan who got the jump, but look further back, it was the two super licensed drivers that made contact at the start. Unfortunately, Hata into the back of Takahashi. What that did is put 20 minutes on the clocks for the drivers behind the safety car. With under 10 to go, we had a restart and things started to get very, very interesting further back. That was Tarchek and Jordan Dempsey running towards the front of the field. Of course, it was the two high-tech Grand Prix drivers who were away at the front of the field. And we saw a great charge back through from New Zealand's Brendan Leach. He qualified in 10th after a big off at the Degner curves in qualifying. That dropped him further back. He had to work his way through. There he is left of screen. Up to 5th position in the end for the New Zealander and the Black Arts Racing team. And he would do a great job. In the end, though, Duhan held the field at bay. He held his teammate at bay. They drove away, but ultimately it was their 7th 1-2 of the 2019 season. They have opened an insurmountable lead. As a result of that, Duhan is now just 7 points behind his teammate. 154 to Sasahara, a 4-time winner this year. Duhan, a 3-time winner on 147. Light years then back to Daniel Cow, who didn't have a bad day yesterday. In the end, 4th place. He did manage to close in on Petr Tarchek, who is making his debut, the Czech driver, for 7GP. But ultimately, there it was again, another 1-2 and a comfortable victory to the high-tech Grand Prix drivers, 10 seconds in the end. There he is, young Jack Duhan, Red Bull junior athlete, also racing at the moment in Europe in the 2019 Euro Formula Open Championship. He's just come back from Spa in Belgium for the 6th race of the year. He finished 4th on both occasions there. Has been 2nd in Hockenheim, and he's doing quite well. He's 6th in that championship, but this championship he's doing very, very well in. Sasahara also doing double duty with Porsche Carrera Cup Japan. He has had double victories in Suzuka. So he comes in here as the championship points leader in that championship, and the championship points leader so too in F3 Asian Championship. We get ready to go for what will be the midpoint of the season. This will be race 8 of 15 for the second season of the F3 Asian Championship. And there is right of screen, Jack Duhan. Now this grid for the second race of a race weekend is set by the fastest laps of each driver from race number 1. So race 7 of the championship yesterday. And that sees Jack Duhan starting again from the front row. Well, that says, well, yeah, car 2 and car 1. Don't look at the numbers, look at the position left of screen. The numbers at the bottom left and bottom right of the screen are indicative of starting positions. Brendan Leach in his storming drive back through from 10th to 5th will start from position 3. Daniel Cow, who started the first race of the season back in April at Malaysia from pole position, will start out of 4. Peter Tarcek on his debut, position number 5. Jackson Wall, 16-year-old Australian, has graduated from F4, starts from position number 6. Jordan Dempsey for Pinnacle Motorsport alongside his teammate, another young Australian, just turned 17 recently. Tommy Smith didn't have a great day yesterday. Akash Gowda, the all-blue entry, he starts from position 10 alongside Kyoto Fujinami, experienced campaigner for the BMAX racing teams, done a lot of miles in the likes of Super GT and Super Tokyo. Isham Piris, a long way further back than we're used to seeing him. He was one of the top 3 and 4 drivers last time out at Buriram alongside Miki Kiyama, who's currently 7th in the W Series, doing a very good job there. Kuai Yu, a little bit further back than we're used to seeing too. The Chinese driver's got a little bit of work to do. Thomas Liudi, leading Masters driver in the Black Arts entry. Paul Wong is leading the points in the Black Arts competition. Tomoki Takahashi is back in the field. He unfortunately stalled on the line yesterday, cleaned up by his teammate who was unsighted, and there was frustrations there. That was very, very tough for the 2 super license entries, and they wound up losing both cars. And unfortunately for Takashi Hata, he is sitting this one out on his return after being here with us last year. 30 minutes plus 1 lap for the race leader is the duration. 15 races of this season is the way that works out. But certainly we have seen so far for the 7 prior races, very rarely does the pole sitter not take the lead, and whoever leads into turn 1 invariably goes on to take the victory. One of few changes to that script was Jack Doohan last time out at Buriram in Thailand. He managed to work his way past his teammate Sasahara for what at that point was his 2nd win of the year. That was race 5 of the season. From that point on, the 2 of them have gone head-to-head, toe-to-toe, but clearly with a team with that experience, they know how these things work out, and they're very big on strategy. So it's been important that the 2 teammates don't battle too hard. That was a good move by Doohan to have taken the lead away from Sasahara at Buriram, but the 2 of them have been very, very evenly matched. Now, you'd have to say the favourite coming into this round was the man who won those 2 races in Porsche Carrera Cup Japan, Ukio Sasahara, the championship points leader. It's not quite his home circuit, but certainly it's a circuit he has done plenty of miles on. Whereas, of course, Jack Doohan, he's a rookie coming into this event here at Suzuka, an old school F1 circuit. It's also a regular on the MotoGP, or has been a regular on the MotoGP calendar, and the 500cc Grand Prix calendar. Now, note that, guys, going back to 500cc Grand Prix days, back for the Honda team, Jack Doohan's father, Mick, 5-time world champion on 2 wheels, took victories here in 92 and 97, so I'm sure that trophy from Suzuka that Jack Doohan won yesterday will sit very proudly on the mantelpiece alongside his father's 92 and 97 victories. As they come to the grid, getting tyre temperature up on those controlled GT competition GTR1 tyres. 18 corners, 5.807 kilometres. They call it a figure 8 circuit because it laps back across the top of itself. It's not much like an 8. It's a very complicated 8, a very complicated layout with very, very limited runoff. We've seen it claim a number of victims so far this weekend in the GT categories. Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia running this weekend, so too Super Trofeo, Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia, for which Brendan Leach is doing double duty, so too Paul Wong. Brendan Leach very strong yesterday, running as high as 2nd in the early stages. Loved his time in the car. Was frustrated after qualifying badly for F3. Came through to run very strongly. 3rd fastest, gave him a good run through. Green flag will go up, lights will go on, and when lights go out, a standing start. Not something we're used to seeing too often these days, but this is very much down the line of the elite formula in the world. F4, F3, F2, F1, and we're underway. Doohan right of screen gets another lightning start. How about Brendan Leach squeezing across to try and keep Daniel Cow at bay? He hasn't been able to do that. The 2 dark grey and pink cars Doohan under fire. Sasahara, what a good run, but he's gone deep into the second corner, and Doohan has got the position back heading into the S's. The left-right sequence, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into the famous Dunlop curve, into Degner 1, Degner 2, under the tunnel, down to the hairpin. We're into the second part of the S's, and Doohan has taken back that position. Sasahara, great start off the line. He didn't quite get the grip off the line that Pole said him Doohan did, but ultimately he got up the inside, had track position, but ran a little bit wide on cold tyres on the exit. That allowed Doohan through. What an impressive drive by the 16-year-old Australian, back at the point of this field. This could equal it up. If we see a result 1-2, Doohan, Sasahara, we will be all equal after 8 rounds at the top of the championship points table. And that'd be an impressive way to go into the second half of the season. Back across the top of the circuit. Great shot to see just what the speed is like in these Tatuus F3 chassis. The autotecnica engine, 270 horsepower, 350 newton meters of torque. They get off the line pretty promptly. Everyone away safely this time. What will we see further back? Jordan Dempsey still running quite strongly. We've got no timing monitor update just yet. We will see at the end of the lap how positions have been. Sasahara very racy coming down to the chicane. You need to make a decisive move there if you're going to make it stick. We've seen it come unstuck to settle Formula One world titles in the past, Senna and Prost. But this is Doohan and Sasahara. Across the line, Doohan leads by 35 hundredths of a second. Daniel Cow is third. Brendan Leach up to position 4. Great battle further back. It's Tommy Smith and Fujinami doing a good job. But eyes focused at the moment on the battle at the front of the field. Sasahara knows this is a turning point in the championship. This is a circuit he knows well, and he should be able to put that experience to great use against Doohan, because he'll need to come back in this championship. Great to see the iconic white and red colours of Tomoki Takahashi for Super License working his way through the field. Another of the Japanese drivers we expected to run strongly. That's the objective entry, the high-tech Grand Prix, third entry of young Australian Jackson Walls. Did a great job yesterday on his debut in this championship, finished 7th, was running strongly, was in the top 6 for much of the race before a charging Brendan Leach worked his way back through. The number 1 entry, the Japanese driver, Sasahara, pushing very hard. Got hard onto the throttle, a little bit of oversteer. Just wants to keep the car balanced. Doohan seemed to have gotten a better run out of the hairpin. Continues to lead this field around. So Daniel Cow up a position. Brendan Leach back a position, of course, after starting from. There's Daniel Cow on screen, Brendan Leach behind him. Now, they may have set that Black Arts Racing entry up to come on a little bit later in this race. Just tyre pressures, just camber angles. It's not an awful lot. There is a fair bit you can adjust on an open wheeler. There are limitations and restrictions for things like tyre wear and tyre life. But certainly pressures is one area where teams can adjust depending on when they want the car to come on. Oh, Takahashi having a great battle. That is fantastic racing. Oh, it's getting complicated further forward. The 16 entry of Tommy Smith, looking to make amends for his off late in the race yesterday. Talk about late in the race, we only ended up doing 11 laps, of which about 5 of those were behind the safety car. Came off in the S's. Akash Gowda, that's further back for positions 12, 13. Miki Kiyama in that battle as well. Thomas Liudi in the Black Arts Racing entry. On the outside. Good move there. Further back, Gowda, Kiami, Kwai Yu, Chinese driver. That is Isham Piris. Now, he'll be hoping to improve. He was running as high as 3rd at one stage at Buriram. Capable of running a lot more strongly, but this circuit doesn't have the runoff. This is very much a driver's circuit. It relies on your ability to push the aero, to push the car. Oh, good move by Takahashi. No, you won't go around the outside of Tommy there. Oh, up the inside, tried the crossover. Into Degner 1, now Degner 2, and down under the bridge. Jordan Dempsey's taken an interesting line through there too. He's got a problem. problem for one of the two Pinnacle Motorsport entries. Finished in position 6 yesterday. Started this race from position number 7. Jordan Dempsey dropping further back down the order, running an inside line, allowing the field past him. He clearly has an issue. Up front, not so much for Jack Doohan. There he is on screen. Doohan, Sasahara, Daniel Cow, Brendan Leach, and Jackson Walls up to position 5. Now, that's not a bad start from position number 6. Petr Tarcek, we expected a little bit more potentially from him. He has pole position for this afternoon's third race. Oh, round the outside. Is Brendan Leach going to make it stick? Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. Daniel Cow's got some good experience. The Absolute Racing driver has held him out, and that'll frustrate Brendan Leach. He's got fresh rubber on for this race. Had big expectations, but we saw this a little bit at Buriram as well. Often hard on himself, the young New Zealander. Experienced campaigner, as we said, he's doing double duty this weekend with Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. Wants to make early moves, wanted to make the most of his fresh rubber, and really around the outside into the chicane. Probably wasn't going to work on a driver the calibre of Daniel Cow, and that's the way it played out. Now, Sasahara's closed right up again. Doohan had the previous lap, got the gap out to 0.6 of a second. Sasahara's just staying under the rear wing of his teammate. I'd say very clear team orders from Hi-Tech Grand Prix, Hi-Tech Dragon GP as they were last year. Finished 1-2 in the championship. Raoul Hyman and Jake Hughes. This year, Doohan, Sasahara, joined by Jackson Walls this weekend. Leach closing in again after that off. Ooh, big brake lock up below Tarcek into the hairpin left-hander. 200R. Down to the spoon curve. It's the skid pan in the middle. Talking motorcycles, a big off many, many years ago for Australia's Casey Stoner at that part of the circuit. 24-hour race. Australians have some good success around the iconic Japanese circuit. Uh-oh. Now, unfortunately, that is the number 3 entry of Jordan Dempsey. And that will take no further part. That is in the outside of turn 13. He's out of harm's way. Shouldn't imagine that will have too big an impact. Perhaps double waved yellows as they go down to Spoon Curve. Turns 13 and 14. Back at the chicane. Ishan Pires, following Tomoki Takahashi, has moved forward slightly. Qualified position 12, currently shown in position number 9. Sri Lankan driver in that gunmetal grey and green flex machine. Oh, good battle further back too. Gowda now under fire. It's the number 4 entry of Kwa Yu for Zen Motorsport, silver and orange flex. That is a battle for the tail of the top 10, in fact for position 11. Gowda now moves up to 11. Miki Kiyama in position number 10 behind Ishan Pires. Tomoki Takahashi on his recovery after yesterday's disappointment, being cleaned up after stalling on the grid, cleaned up by his teammate, which is a tough start to the weekend for Super License, the Japanese team, led by Ryo Fukuda, former BAR Honda F1 test driver, very experienced campaigner. Famous in his home country, famous around the Asian region. Very, very accomplished driver, overseeing the development of the next generation of Japanese drivers. Certainly a young field for the second season of the F3 Asian Championship, certified by FIA. Yukio Sasahara, 23 years of age. Jack Doohan, 16. Jordan Dempsey, unfortunately retirement in this race, 18, as now Brendan Leach closes in under the rear wing of Daniel Cow. Back to the chicane, you've learned that one before. Yep, gets out of the throttle. It's all about drive through this corner and down the straight and into turns 1 and 2, the first curve, the second curve. What does Leach have in the slipstream? down the straight. Daniel Cow's all over that. Oh, not on the grass. You can see just how aggressive Leach is being. So close to clipping the rear right of Daniel Cow as they went into the turn-in point to the apex of the corner. Into the S's. There won't be much of an opportunity here. To be very careful into Degner. He's come off twice at Degner 1 this weekend. Has Brendan Leach lost the front wing during qualifying? Couldn't improve on 10th position. So he wants to be very, very careful as Doohan just comfortably holding the points. Only 0.3 of a second. We are nearly 10 minutes into this race. And this will equal up the championship. Not perhaps the result that Sashihara wanted to have. Now we go into race 3 this afternoon. Oh, Brendan Leach again coming under the bridge. Coming out of Degner 2. We just missed that one. It'd be lovely to see a replay of what happened there. He really is pushing. Oh, do we see Daniel Cow in the gravel? Is that what the dust was, or was just a couple of wheels off? Where are the field? Okay, so that's further back. That's Ishan Pires, position 9, position 10, Miki Kiyama. We're looking at that battle further back. What we're interested in is the battle for position number 3, further forward in this field. What happened in that fight between Daniel Cow? Well, there it is. So the 17 of Jackson Walls. Oh, crikey, Brendan Leach. Well, he's dropped right back behind Petr Tarcek now. So that's back to position number 6. Is Daniel Cow still running at the front of the field? Livery very reflective of the Haas F1 team. The iconic black and gold colours of I've got to remember what it is now. That is a famous livery, Hype livery, but certainly not the one that's on this. Rich Energy is what I'm thinking of. The old grey matter's starting to fire up. It's only just gone 9:52 a.m. Sunday morning here at Suzuka. Welcome to wherever you are watching around the world. And some of the finest young talents in the Asian region do battle. Drivers we are seeing also competing in other championships around the world. Petr Tarcek on his debut in this championship. We'll start race 3 this afternoon at 3:30 from pole position. He's currently holding down position number 5 in this race. And nice to see the Czech driver come across and join the field for this weekend. Where has Brendan Leach gone now? He was all over the back of the Czech driver. Something's happened to the young New Zealander. He's dropped right off the tail there. It's not the way he wanted this race to go. This wasn't in the script. Praga 7 GP driver. Yeah, well, he's disappeared. Because that's the number 30 entry of Kyoto Fujinami. And Takahashi in the super license entry was behind. So somewhere we have lost Brendan Leach. There is the race leader, Jack Doohan. There's his teammate, Ukyo Sashihara. Daniel Cow still shown in position number 3. We may not have completed the rotation of the lap, and I think that was him further back. So Jackson Walls, on his debut, the 3rd of the high-tech GP entries, is shown in position number 4, 4 seconds back from Daniel Cow, an experienced campaigner, the Chinese driver, and there is Brendan Leach. It looks like, I'm not going to surmise where that is. It does look somewhere near the tunnel. That may be over the back of the circuit, somewhere near 130R. No, it's coming up to a left-hander. It's the skid pan. That might be down at the hairpin, turn 11. Okay, that's where he has come off, or where he has pulled over. And that's unfortunate for Brendan Leach. This isn't going to help his forward momentum in the championship. Coming into this round, he was in position number 4, the New Zealander. 74 points to 77 for Daniel Cow. So safety car because of the stationary Black Arts Racing entry. So there is a drama. It could have been as a result of that coming through Degner 2. We saw all that dust. He was trying desperately to get past Daniel Cow. He has all the wings on the car, seems to have all the corners on the car, but there has been a bit of a drama there somewhere along the line. So certainly for Brendan Leach, that is a tough start to this race, and this by the close of race 8 of the 15 race season will be into the second half, so not a good start to the second stanza. So Doohan now controls the field. Ukyo Sasahara in position 2. Daniel Cow still there in position 3. Jackson Walls, good opportunity for him to test his mettle against the experience of Daniel Cow on the restart. So that's High-Tech Grand Prix 1, 2 and 4. Peter Tarchek in the Rich Energy livery, position number 5. Position 6 to Kyoto Fujinami on his run with B-Max. You see the field flowing past the unfortunate stationary entry, pink and black colours of Black Arts Racing. Isham Pires, position number 8. Miki Kiyama, position number 9. Kwa Yu in position 10. Akash Gowda in the all-blue entry on screen there in position number 11. Thomas Ludi in position number 12. Paul Wong, the second of the Masters entries, in position 13. Now in the Masters Championship battle coming into this round, Paul Wong on 134 points. Thomas Ludi, who is leading at the moment for the Black Arts Racing operation, on 68. Unfortunately for Thomas, who does a lot of miles around this part of the world, loves his open wheeler driving. Not a young man, certainly not an old man by any stretch of the imagination, but does love his time in these cars. Has had a torrid year. Unfortunately, at Buriram, I think it was 2 of the 3 races, the car was forced into retirement through a technical issue, no fault of his own. At times, comfortably clear of Paul Wong. Like Brendan Leach, unfortunately, will be retirement from this race. He's doing double duty with Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia. They will be into those cars not too far down the track today. And of course, you get to 11:50 this afternoon, or this morning, goes into a second 60-minute race for Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia. Keep an eye on that one. It's certainly been a tough weekend for the sports car competitors. We've seen a Lamborghini upside down at 130R. We've seen an Audi sitting on top of the tyre barriers at 130R on Thursday. It's certainly been a tough weekend, even for some very experienced campaigners. This circuit really does bring the best out. Remember Alex Young, former F1 driver, 3-time Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup champion, saying on the Audi Cup One Make Series debut here a couple of years ago that this was very much an old school F1 circuit. Seen some dramatic results here over the years. Think Prost, think Senna, and certainly you could go back to James Hunt and to Niki Lauda, the late Niki Lauda. Some fantastic races. Very, very historic circuit, this one. And it always delivers. It is challenging. And when you are campaigning a series like Formula 3, which is a development path through, ultimately, if you are lucky enough, through to Formula 1, this is the breeding ground from F4 to F3 to F2 and F1. You want to be challenged. You want to come to circuits. This is the first time for the F3 Asian Championship, certified by FIA, to come to Suzuka Circuit in Japan. And these drivers are working very, very hard. I think for Jack Doohan, he has been a real standout. When you consider his teammate is Japanese, he's done a lot of miles around here. Just recently, he was in Carrera Cup Japan. He is the championship points leader, supported by Porsche Japan. He was their young driver development driver. That was a mouthful. Probably could have cleaned that one up a little. Most recently, they were here at Suzuka, and 2 wins fell to Ukyo Sasahara comfortably. So he knows this circuit well. And Jack Doohan, at just 16 years of age, very mature young driver, backed by the Red Bull Junior Driver Program. Son of 5-time 500cc Grand Prix World Champion Mick Doohan, who's down here in the garage, helping young Jack out, just to bounce ideas off him if he needs the support. 2-time winner of the Japanese Motorcycle Grand Prix here, 92 and 97, Jack Doohan. Mick Doohan, rather. Jack Doohan adds another trophy to the family cabinet. Certainly some strong success for the Aussies at this circuit, and Jack Doohan could finish this race. If he does so as the race winner, Sasahara carries on in position number 2, then they will be equal in championship points as we go into this afternoon's 9th race of the year. So we are, well, 9 minutes to go, 9 minutes 40 to go. It's 10 o'clock local time. You can see top centre of screen, 9 minutes 30. Doohan leads Sasahara. High-Tech Grand Prix 1-2. Daniel Cow position 3. Jackson Walls the third of the High-Tech Grand Prix team entries in position number 4. Petar Tarcek position 5. Kyoto Fujinami 4. B-Max in position number 6. Tomoki Takahashi, after a tough day in the office yesterday that saw him stall on the grid and be rear-ended at speed by his teammate Takashi Hata, who unfortunately as a result of that will not start this race. They spent some time extricating the drivers correctly from the cars. Of course, these are very, very safe cars. This is the new generation of F3 car. It has the halo device to protect drivers from anything that might bounce into their path. It has very heavy side intrusion panels. They are a heavier car than perhaps what might have been F3's foundation in the past. The Tatuus F3 T318 chassis, around 650 kilos minimum weight with driver and fuel. They have 270 horsepower from the autotecnica ATM AR F3R engine. 6-speed paddle shift, 350 newton meters of torque. They do fire around a circuit very, very promptly. Lap times very, very close to what the Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia cars with twice the horsepower and probably twice the weight are doing around these circuits. Very useful aero, a hard compound GT competition GTR1 tyre. But what that does, it doesn't have the driver aids. Both Paul Wong and Brendan Leach will go through to a car that doesn't quite have air conditioning. Certainly needs to at times when you get temperatures north of 60 degrees Celsius inside the cockpits of a closed cockpit car. It's one of the beauties of a open cockpit car like the F3, because you can have the wind keep you a little bit cooler, the airflow. You don't have traction control, you don't have ABS, you don't have some of those nice electronic aids. This is very much a driver's car. We're talking about development formula through to Formula One. This is where you test your abilities. It's a wings and slicks formula. You rely on mechanical grip. You rely very heavily on aero grip. Those wings, they work. Formula One circuits are very much designed about separating the men from the boys. And I don't mean that at any level that is argumentative. What I mean about that is the more experience you have, the more you can lean and rely on the aerodynamics of the car and the mechanical grip of the car. So what separates the drivers with experience from the drivers that are just learning is the ability to push through corners like 200R and 130R and Dunlop curve faster than your rivals. That's what the design of a Formula One circuit is very much about. When you talk about old school F1 circuits, as was explained to me by Alex Young, the Malaysian F1 driver, the former Malaysian F1 driver, it's very much about lack of runoff. They're very narrow circuits. You put a couple of wheels onto the grass, invariably it gets sucked into the barriers and it's game over very quickly. Circuits like Buriram, used for MotoGP these days, we go to Sepang. The last two events, the last two race weekends of this season, both happening at either end of September, will happen at Shanghai International Circuit, a Formula One circuit. Like Sepang, designed by German engineer Hermann Tilke, they have huge runoff. You can manage to recover from an off. You don't want to make contact with another driver, certainly in an open wheeler. Wow, Doohan has pulled the field right back. Has he got problems? Doohan's got a problem. Jack Doohan now has a problem. He rolls to a stop. That is the race leader. The race leader has stopped. Coming out of Spoon Curve, Jack Doohan has a problem. With 5.5 minutes to go, a flawless performance. He lost the lead briefly on the run into turn 1. Managed the crossover on his teammate to turn 2. Paul Wong at rear of field. I think he's just dropped off to let the field have a little bit of space. He can just run around on his own. We're on restart. Sasahara now. He was facing a 4th win. A safety car is back out. It was coming in. Then they got word that Doohan had stopped. Oh, Takahashi's come off. So what happened is likely the field's almost stopped in front of him. He hasn't noticed the safety car lights have come back on again. Perhaps he was anticipating a start. He's gone around the outside coming out of the chicane and wound up in the tyre barrier. I wonder whether we might see this one finish under safety car conditions. And devastating result for Jack Doohan, who'd done everything right. A mature drive, a well-planned strategy. He didn't stress too much that Sasahara had got past him after a great start. Doohan starting from pole. He crossed back across into turn 2, got up the inside of the Japanese driver, controlled the pace from there. Brendan Leach stopping down at turn 10, brought out the safety car just ahead of the restart. We're just half a lap away. Coming out of Spoon Curve, Doohan rolled to a stop. That gave Sasahara back the advantage. Daniel Cow finds himself now in position 2, and Jackson Walls on debut, the 16-year-old Australian, the second of the 16-year-old Australians driving for High Tech Grand Prix, finds himself, the objective machine, in position number 3. That is tough luck for Doohan. He had been flawless, 1-2 every race in the 7 prior races this season to both of the High Tech Grand Prix drivers. Sasahara 4 wins, Doohan 3 wins coming in. Doohan was on track to take win number 4 and finish this round with both the drivers matched at the top of the championship table on 169 points. It's not going to happen. Well, it wasn't 169 points. It would have been 162 points, potentially 172 points. Calculator out. You're an abacus. This is not what we want to see again. Safety car intervention. And poor old Tomoki Takahashi had worked his way back up into about position 7, and I think got wrong-footed running out of the chicane, pulling gears, getting ready for a restart, only to find that the safety car had pulled straight across with news that Doohan had stopped coming out of Spoon Curve to run the field around again. And then it was Takahashi into the gravel with nowhere to go, and ultimately the barriers on the outside of the final corner. Disappointing again for the Japanese driver. 5th in the championship last year. He's working very strongly with Rio Fukuda and Super License. The disappointment of being rear-ended after stalling on the grid yesterday, that eliminated his teammate, and unfortunately Takashi Hata was unable to take part in this race. And when all things were working towards the young Japanese driver, he got caught with having to avoid potential contact on the aborted restart with Doohan stopping. Now the clock's going to run out of time. It's likely we will get, we'll get one more lap. And then will we see the checkered flag next time round? It's hard to tell whether the lights are on or off the safety car with the angle we were looking at it. It looked to me like they were still flashing. Obviously they're going to lead them down one more time. Yeah, lights are very clearly on. Safety car boards out, yellow flags waving. Doohan's not electing, sorry, not Doohan, Sasahara's not electing to weave. There he goes now. So for Brendan Leach and Jack Doohan, who had it all ahead of them this weekend in this race, it hasn't ended well at all. Tough run. Oh, Doohan's got going again. Well, that's good news. Maybe they'll restart them, give them one more lap. What can Doohan make up from rear of field? Now, that should put him in position 12. It does. The timing monitor's just refreshed. So he's behind Paul Wong. These will be valuable championship points. Of course, we score the top 10. Doohan currently position 12. Thomas Liudi's holding position 10. If he can manage to make up a few positions, that will limit the damage in the championship. The unfortunate result of Doohan stopping is that Sasahara will take home his 5th win of the year and a full haul of 25 points. That will extend his advantage to 179. Doohan on 147. Anything now he can make up from 0, assuming they make a restart. And I think it's only fair. It is usually 30 minutes plus 1 lap for the leader. 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clock's at 0. So we would usually get the final lap board this time round. Lights still on the safety car. Unless something else has happened. Oh, they're obviously recovering Takahashi down at the final corner. That could be the fly in the ointment for Jack Doohan. That might be the final straw, unless they have recovered the super licence entry. As we go down to the spoon curve one more time. Turn 13, turn 14. There is the unfortunate side of Jordan Dempsey, another retirement in this race. Now, they seem to have been technical issues. Not sure what happened with Brendan Leach. We saw a bit of dust coming out of Degner 2, turn 9. Now, it looks like Sashahara has the field covered, getting ready for a restart. So they've been advised we are going green. Safety car has gone. One flying lap. Watch Doohan at the rear of the field. How much ground can the Australian make up? He needs to be careful. Passing opportunities limited. You'd expect him to get a couple. Perhaps Wong and Ludi down to turn number 1 and into 2. You probably have to wait until he comes out of Dunlop Curve. May get one at Degner 1, maybe another at Degner 2. We're underway. Doohan's being held up by Paul Wong, who's done what he's done on the restart in the past to give himself some space, is backed up because Doohan can't pass him till we get to the line. So that's frustrating for the young Australian already. He's behind the 8 ball and Paul Wong's put him further back again. This will have an impact on how much ground he can make up. Sashahara's gone. You can see at the top of the screen just how far back Paul Wong has put Jack Doohan. He obviously got to the control line in time, but look how much ground he's missed. He won't get Ludi before 1 or 2. And Paul Wong has had a big impact on this race. Sashahara doesn't look like he's charging. What's happened there? It's something's unusual. Unless my eyes deceive me and we're suddenly on super slow-mo. This race, well, they may have been told that they're going to be a formation finish. I'm at a loss. Unfortunately, I can't see safety car boards. I cannot see yellow flags. Timing monitor doesn't tell me anything. And certainly by the vision I'm looking at, the field is not pushing on. They're running very much at a relaxed pace. So you would hazard a guess that Sashahara is getting thumbs up from the officials. He's waving. He has been declared the winner. We got the checkered flag last time round. We didn't get the last lap board. I can now see the checkered flag if I look hard enough. So, effectively finished under safety car. So that gives, unofficially, provisionally, Yukio Sashahara 179 points in the championship. He now has a 32-point lead over his teammate after coming into this race with a 7-point lead. Up until that Brendan Leach safety car, they were equal on championship points at the end of this race. And of course, we saw that issue that stopped Jack Doohan coming out of Spooner Curve on the restart. He obviously reset the systems, got the car going. By that stage, the race director had called the safety car back out again for the stationary Doohan machine. The number 2 high-tech Grand Prix entry down at Spoon Curve, but he'd got going again and joined the rear of the field. But by that stage, too late. And Takahashi got wrong-footed coming through this part of the circuit. Through the chicane, he got onto the loud pedal, anticipating he could come through the final corner and get back into the race, only to find that the safety car had moved back across for what they felt was the stationary Doohan. And Takahashi had nowhere to go but into the gravel on the outside of turn 18 and ultimately the barriers. And that may be the reason we finished under safety car. They were unable to recover that car in time to allow the field for one more lap. So Sashahara, 5-time winner out of 8 rounds in the 2019 F3 Asian Championship, certified by FIA. Second across the line to Daniel Cow. His best result of the 2019 season, and what a result for Jackson Walls in position number 3. 2 drivers from High Tech Grand Prix on the podium. And for Jackson Walls, who's come out of a part F4 campaign so far this year in Australia, his maiden run in an F3, and what a good result there. Sashahara, though, another victory and an extension in his championship points lead. Disappointment for Jack Doohan, but we get to do it again this afternoon, a bit after 3:30. And for qualifying, it was Petarček who took pole in the second leg of qualifying yesterday. He will start from pole position alongside Sasahara, the man on screen. Championship points leader Doohan will start from position 3 alongside Kyoto Fujinami. Jordan Dempsey, provided there hasn't been anything major happen to that car, will start from position 5. Daniel Cow finishes this race in position 2, will start from position 6 this afternoon. Takahashi, provided his car is well enough, will start from 7. Jackson Walls from 8. Kwai Yu from position 9. And Brendan Leach will have it all to do again from position number 10. See if we can hear from the race winner. If we don't stay with us, we'll go through to the podium and make sure you join us this afternoon as we go into the third and final race of this third race weekend. Race number 9 of 15 as we make our debut for the F3 Asian Championship here at Suzuka Circuit in Japan.
Wow, what a race. And tell us about the start and are you feel benefit from these 2 safety car sections?
Yeah, at the start, I think I made a quite good start. I was just next to the jack. But the first corner, I couldn't shift down for some reason. So that's why I have to go around the outside. And then the jack repassed me, so I don't know, we have to check. Then the whole race, I could follow the jack, so I was just trying to pass him. But yeah, I feeling, sorry for Jack. I don't know what happened to him. And this is not I wanted to win like this way, but wins win. So I will take it.
Okay. Still, congratulations. Yeah. OK， 刚刚我问到那个刚刚。